Hello everyone, welcome to another JMPR miniature gaming video. This is a requested video. We're going to take a look at the Elder Scrolls Call to Arms and how to set up a delve. So we're just going to go step by step through the rulebook, how to set up your delve, ready to go for a game. So we're going to use the start box here with your rulebooks and your tokens and everything, and your cards, and then we're also going to use the delve set, which is basically the starter set, which you kind of need to play. So I'm going to grab that and we will have a look through and go through step by step how to set this delve up. Okay, so firstly, what will you need? So we have got the Elder Scrolls Call to Arms rulebook, the Elder Scrolls Call to Arms quest book, we have our dice, we have our tokens, not organised yet. I've got the Dragonborn card with her model there. We have all the equipment, shouts and spell cards. We'll come back to that in a minute. We have our delve, quest and event cards. That's the one, the delve is the one with the little torch symbol, not the two axes fighting, that's the PvP ones. We have our trap effect treasure cards. And then I have our adversary pool, which we will select from in a moment, depending on how many points my Dragonborn ends up at. So I've got the Draugr faction card there as well. It's handy to have that to one side, and then all their cards and their models. So that is everything we're going to use in this game. Obviously we'll get some scenery in a minute as well when we set up the table. But we need to know what mission we're going to do first. So, next step. So we've got our books open. We have got the quest book here. This tells you how to set up your scenario. And I know one of the big complaints of the game is at the moment you have to sort of jump between quest book to rule book, back to quest book as you're sort of setting up. Unfortunately, that is just a thing that we have to do at the moment. And it's a problem with some games that come out. I was helped work on Tester 1 version 2 when that was released, and the original reason a lot of people complained was because there was a lot of different booklets with different rules and things in. You had to flip between the different booklets. Version 2, that was all combined into one booklet. So hopefully, or one book I should say, hopefully that will be something that happens later on in this game's life. Everything will be sort of condensed into one book, but at the moment we're dealing with the two books. So, first step is choose your game mode. Well, we are playing a delve in this game mode. And then we need to choose our party. So we are going to have to jump straight to page 91 of the rulebook. So let's do that. Okay, so we go to page 91 of the rulebook, gathering the party. Basically just tells you about the septim limit, talks about the different factions available, party composition. So you have to have a champion, or nominate one hero from the party. You've got the heroes. You have to have at least one hero in the party of the faction that you're playing. Followers have the same faction as your hero, so we're playing adventurers in this game. We're only having one person, so it doesn't really matter too much. Familiars, best type of follower, one familiar per hero in the party, and then hirelings, basically any model from a different faction that is able to be included in the party. Adventurers tend to be part of any party, or can be part of any party. And essentially you just can't use the champion's wisdom for morale checks. Or the faction special rule. Then you choose upgrade cards for your heroes, equipment for the heroes, spells and shouts for the heroes. You pay your price for your models, you add that all up. And this just goes through the different stuff that you can have equipped. It's very, it's fairly simple once you get the hang of the fact that you've got your cards that basically tell you everything. So here's our Dragonborn. We're just going to go straight out of the back of the book, although not everything in the back of the book is actually available yet. So we've got our Dragonborn, 74 septims. We've got leather armour for an extra 4, wooden shield for an extra 3, steel sword for an extra 5, and a minor potion of healing, potion of minor healing for an extra 3, taking our Dragonborn to 89 septims. Could have had spells, could have had shouts. Not going to worry about that just at the minute. This is sort of rookie Dragonborn, just got into the game, hasn't done anything yet. So now we are going to work out our adversaries. Okay, so for adversaries, Delve mode uses slightly different adversary rules. For every 100 septims of your pie, basically, you add 25 gold septims to the total value for the adversaries. So 100 points good force would come up against 125 septims of adversaries. Now, I found that doesn't always work. So basically, what I would use for this first delve is I'm going to go with the Overlord for 50, 2 Draugr for 48, so that's 98, and then 2 Skeleton Archers for 30, 15 each. So that takes us to 128 septims worth of minions, which, because the archers don't tend to do very much, I find that's a pretty good balance to just fight up against the Dragonborn. You could always add a follower to the Dragonborn if you've got the other packs available, and then that would pretty much make it about right. But other than that, it's gonna be okay. Like, I've not struggled too much. If you've watched any of the games against these guys, sometimes, you know, you get in a tricky situation. If you do get surrounded, it can be dangerous, but normally you can fight your way out of it. Now, the adversaries that will act in a delve are explained on the delve page. Again, there's a bit of page flipping between the setup and actually sort of where things are. But yeah, basically it's under the delves. Even though you're choosing your parties here, you have to flip to the delve section to actually get those rules. So kind of annoying because the adversary rules on this page are just for the battle mode, and that says to sort of have the same amount of septims. So again, a bit of page flicking, but every 100 septims is 125 septims of bad guys. Or if you're playing 150 points, it would be 175. If you're playing 200 points, it'd be 250. So every full 100, add another 25. But obviously, it scales. So 150, 175, 200, 250. I know I'm making sense, but it might not come across like that, so I apologise. It makes sense in my head the way I'm saying it. Right, next step. Now, the next step is determine setup priority, which we don't need to worry about in delve mode. I mean, you could do it if you were playing with other people, and you could decide to roll off for it, but in this case, it's not going to matter. So, choose a scenario. So we want to go to our delve. Scenarios here. And we have random scenarios. Yeah, I guess we just roll for it. If we get a crazy one that I don't really have the setup for, we'll do something different. That is a 4. 4 is the standing stone. No, that's good. We can definitely set up that one. That one's nice and easy. So we'll then turn to our delve mode scenario. Apparently the number doesn't correlate to the actual scenario number. Right, standing stone is a round limit of 8. The environment is wilderness, which that's handy because I've got the wilderness map all laid out already. Throughout the wilderness, ancient standing stones, blah 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 blah. So then we work through setting up the scenario. So we place the standing stone objective in the centre of the board, set the battlefield scenario up as described in the pre-game sequence on page 2. Do not place any scenery within 6 inches of the standing stone. This is the treasure zone. Next, the players take a number of treasure tokens in the treasure zone, place the adversaries following the rules for the scenario special rules, and finally players deploy their models in any corner of the board. That becomes their deployment zone. Okay, so special rules. This is important. Each delve scenario will have a special rules, which is either special, in this case, special objective, adversaries, treasure. The special objective is the standing stone. The adversaries are the fact that we use adversaries, and I think, as far as I can tell, every delve scenario has the adversary special rule, because otherwise it'd be really boring. And treasure means there will be treasure tokens. Now, the number of treasure tokens is based on the size game you're playing. So we will have 3 treasure tokens on the table in this game because we're playing 0 to 99 septims. And page 2, page 2, that will explain our environment setup. So we're playing on wilderness. That will affect our our event deck and quest deck in a moment. Size of the gaming area. Should be playing on a 2x2, and deploying no tokens placed within 6 inches of the deployment zone, basically. Wilderness special rules, settlement special rules. You just need to roll for that at the start of the game. I always forget. Then we got our objective tokens. How to place objective tokens, which we're not doing because the special rule for objective isn't in this game. Again, if it was, this tells you how many objectives you would be placing if the objective special rule was in the game, but it isn't. So the scenario special rules: adversaries, blizzards, darkness, civilians, breaking dawn, reinforcements. Objectives. So yeah, that's if any of those rules are in play, this tells you, and treasure, what to do basically when you're setting up. So it's simple. Read the scenario, see what special objectives there are, or what special rules there are. Turn back to these sort of page, I don't know, like 3 to 8, and that will tell you what those special rules mean in terms of your game. Normally, like I said, it's objectives, treasure, and adversaries, but sometimes you might get other ones as well. Okay, so let's set that up, and then we will be back to do... In fact, I don't need to set the actual terrain up. We know the mission and stuff. So what we're going to do is go through the event deck next. So, setting up the event deck. Now, again, this is one of those ones where the rule is with the event cards, but it's with the draw an event card bit of the rules. So this, I mean, by the time you've got to this drawing a card, this should have been long done. This really should be in the setup, along with the curating the treasure deck, which again is another part of the rulebook. So I do think that's again just bad organisation. It makes sense where it is. It's in the event card section, but it really should be up in the setup section. So when you're setting up your event deck, it comprises 11 cards, 7 incident cards, 1 radiant quest, and 3 environment events. Now, at the moment, there's basically pretty much all the cards. You just take out the environment one that you get. So, take the event cards with the torch symbol on, and then we want that one is a incident. That one is wilderness, because it's got the house on it. No, that's settlement. Get rid of that one. Get rid of that one. That's also a house, and that one's also a house. There we go. That's... I'm going to say that's wilderness. I've forgotten which is which. That might be dungeon. Hang on. Let's organise these so that they are separate. Incident, 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 incident. Possibly dungeon, possibly wilderness, possibly dungeon, possibly wilderness. Okay, they're dungeon. Okay, the mountain's dungeon. Radiant quest, and then the tree is wilderness. I remember now, that's the thing. Okay, so we are firstly going to get rid of the settlement and the dungeon event cards because they're not in this, and then we're going to count these cards. So we've got 1 radiant quest, which is the Way of the Voice, which you can only actually use if you've got the Dragonborn. And I can't even use it because I don't have any shouts, but it's got to go in there. the 3 wilderness cards, and then the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 incident cards. So that is your event deck. So you shuffle that up, and that's going to be your event deck for the game. I've already played this game a few times now, and I'm quite looking forward to getting more event cards with the card pack that's not due out till like October now, because I'm kind of getting bored of seeing the same events come up and up and up. It's not a bad thing. It's just like you've got a little bit of variety if you're playing in the different areas, and I haven't played any settlement games yet. So, but yeah, playing with the same 11 event cards, or essentially the same 11 event cards over and over, kind of gets a bit boring. Not that it's a big part of the game, but I would like to see a bit more variation in the spawn rates, because these cards control how you're spawning the enemies. So, you know, maybe even a crazy number, like a really good event but spawns like 4 bad guys or something. I don't know. I'm getting off track. So that's how you set up your event deck. 7 incident cards, 1 raiding quest, 3 environment events. Yeah. No, that's it. Yeah, there we go. Obviously, same if you're using the battle deck, then it would be the same, just with the battle events. Okay, and a note on setting up the decks. Also, you've got your quest cards, which, unless you're playing a sort of a campaign with other people, probably, if you're just playing a one-off, it's probably not worth doing, but, you know, yeah, maybe. If you just want to add a bit more flavour to it. So basically, you get your quest cards. Some of them will have the number 1 followed by a letter. Some of them have other numbers. So basically, anything that's not a number 1, get rid of for the time being. Take all of your number 1s, shuffle them up, and basically also some of them are area specific as well. So dungeon. Okay, apparently there's only dungeon specific ones, but in this case I would take those out. Shuffle these up, and then you would draw one, and that would be my quest. So in this case, scenario must use adversaries, which is fine. If no adversaries have been played, draw another quest. There must be no adversaries on the board when the game ends. So if that was the case, I'd complete this scenario. I get 3 extra victory points for it. And then if this is 1x, I think that means that this quest just ends. If that is 1A or 1B or 1C, then there's usually a follow-on quest that you could then take for the next game. It gets you a few extra victory points, so it's not worth doing, but again, more fun if you're probably playing against other people and they're trying to stop you. But and that is how you set up your quest deck. So take all the number 1s, shuffle them up, and draw one. Easy. Okay, so sticking with the card decks, we're now going to look at curating your treasure deck. Now, we go back to the rulebook for this, back to the back of the rulebook. Again, I feel like this should be in like a setup area with curating all the decks and then setting up the game. But it's not. It's in the back of the rulebook in this sort of treasure section, straight after the building your party section. So, making the treasure deck, it's 18 cards in total. That doesn't include the quest cards. The missions that include the quest cards normally will give you special rules on how to include those. It's, a lot of the time it's actually on the cards themselves. And also it doesn't include your master treasure. I tend to just shuffle those up and have them nearby and just draw from it if I get the master treasure objective or if it's specified that I need a master treasure. 18 cards. Now, again, with the start set, you are going to use most of the ones that you get, although actually there is a little bit of variation in this one. So you're always going to use the torch because that's your junk card. You are always going to use the 7 consumables. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's your potions and your cakes. Yeah, potion and cake. Now and poison. Don't mix those up. You're always going to use your 2 bonus cards, which is the cachet and the gold. So that is your first 10 cards of your 18 card deck. Now, you do get 8 superior items in the deck. And I believe there's 12 in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, so you get 8 out of those. So basically, again, just pick them up, shuffle, and draw 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So those 4 go away. These 8 get added to the pile of other ones. Obviously shuffle that bad boy up, because otherwise I know I'm going to get the torch. Whee, like every other game. And that is your treasure deck. So 18 cards, 8 superior items, 7 consumables, 2 bonus, 1 junk. Actually have not drawn anywhere near all of the treasure cards yet, especially once you take the master treasure cards into account, because there's quite a few of those. So this hasn't got boring yet, although I seem to keep drawing the same ones over and over. That being said, I could mitigate that just by, you know, choosing what items I put in there, but that would be boring. So yeah, that is the treasure deck. So we've curated the treasure deck, we've created the event deck, and we've done the quests, which is very simple. These are the quest items, by the way. These are scenario specific. Like the Golden Claw says, if take the top 3 cards of the treasure deck, shuffle this card into them, and replace. So yeah. So basically, when you play that scenario, there's 4 treasure chests. You're always going to get the Golden Claw in one of them. Master treasures. There's actually quite a few. There's almost maybe too many master treasures, and they could have put a bit more variety into the treasure deck. It's not loads, but considering you don't get those very often, it's quite a lot of variety there. Not a bad thing. Just feel like it might have been better spent giving a bit more variety to the normal treasure deck. That's it really. Obviously, no. Let's get the table set up, and I'll show deploying tokens and things. Okay, so we've got our table set up. In this scenario, we've got the standing stone in the middle. We're on 2x2 table because of the points limit. No sceneries within 6 inches of the stone, and that's where we're going to place our treasure. Now, to set up the treasure tokens before placing, treasure tokens are either blank on one side, there's 6 blank ones there, or they have the locked / strength to break open symbol on the back. So you take all 6 of the blank ones, take 4 of the locked ones, mix them all up, and I'm going to place those in the treasure zone. So we place them as described. We're playing less than 100 points, so we're going to get 3 treasure tokens. So let's take 3 random ones. Those ones will do. Put these away. Okay, and now you could, if there's more than one player, you could alternate, but basically all of them have to be within 6 of the treasure, of the objective, but more than 3 away from each other and 3 away from the objective. Okay, so let's do something like that. Okay, so just a nice little triangle. Now you could try and game it and place them in different locations and things, but quite often the adversaries will start near or on treasure, so it's not always good to group them up. We're then going to look at the rules again for this delve. We've set up the treasure token. We then place the adversaries following the scenario special rules. Looking at the special rules, adversaries begin the game and play deployed in the treasure zone. Adversary models must first be placed in contact with the treasure token, with any leftover models added to the spawn pool. Alright, so we have got our 5 adversary models. I've got 2 tokens for each of them. They're the numbered tokens. I'm going to take one of each of those, leaving the others next to the card so I know who's who. Now you could just pop these in a little bag, or you could just do it as I'm doing it now. So I'm just going to mix these up, and then we're going to draw to see who starts on which treasure token. So, and I like to do it like this. So I'm going to flip that on, and that's a number 3. That's our drow gear. And I'll just leave that token next to him so I know who's who during the game. The ones by the cards are the ones I use to see who's activating. We've got number 4 for this treasure token. Number 4 is this skeleton archer. And on the last treasure token, we've got our other drow gear. So the overlord is not going to start on the game, but they will go into the spawn pool. So I'll keep these 2 separate as my spawn pool, and then those ones will be my activation pool when it comes to it. And then finally, the players deploy their models in any corner of the board, and this becomes their deployment zone. Is 6 inches from the corner. In this game, I probably want to be closest to the archer, so I'll probably deploy down here. Yeah. And I'd probably actually deploy a little bit further back, just because I think the deployment map takes into account a 3x3, and you're meant to be like 10 inches away from the objective tokens. So maybe deploy sort of, to make it, you know, not too easy, deploy right at the back there. Then I would flip a token to see who had priority. Normally I just, if I'm playing the Dragon Ball, I normally say Imperial and then Stormcloak's bad guys. So I would have the priority this turn. And I want to get out of this corner as quickly as possible, because the adversaries in this scenario spawn into the corners that's closest to me. So I'd want to be running to that standing stone. Now I do have to roll what type of standing stone it is. So again, any specials in the delve, just read through. We got 4 again, so that would be the magic stone. So basically a model, the model closest to the stone that controls it, so within 3 inches, would get +2 intelligence. Better for a mage, but you know, not the, you know, the Dragonborn can have magic. So yeah. So we're pretty much set up for this delve now. So obviously there are some different rules and some of the other ones. Objectives are placed very similar to treasures. I think that's really the only other main rule that we haven't really gone through. Again, it will tell you how many objective tokens there should be. And then, so again, in this get up to 200 septims is 3, 200 to 300 is 5, 300 to 400 is 7, and 400 plus is 9 objective tokens. Basically, you take all the objective tokens. Well, no, not all of them. You take 4 strategic, 4 puzzle, and 2 master chess objective tokens, mix them up like we did with the treasure tokens, and then place them as instructed, basically, in the scenario. At least, I believe it's 10 inches away from the deployment area of the player, and at least 3 inches away from any other objective token, I believe. Yeah. It's at least 6 inches away actually in this size game. So yeah, 6 inches away from your deployment zone, and I believe it's at least 3 inches away from each other. But again, I have to double check that. But yeah, very similar to the treasure tokens. The rulebook's not laid out particularly well in some places. The rules are very clear, and it's a good rule set. Now there is an FAQ out already, which to be honest I haven't played since the FAQ's come out, so I haven't read the FAQ yet. So this is purely based on the quest and rulebook. So if things have changed, apologies. Probably should have checked before filming. I didn't. I just sort of remembered a minute ago that there was an FAQ out already. I'm waiting for the new releases before getting any more filmed. So again, hopefully this will help you set up your delves. If it doesn't, apologies. Yeah, but hopefully it helped. So thanks very much, guys, and I'll see you again.